Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio, broadcasting from St. Ignatius Catholic School in Meridian. Thank you to CapEd Credit Union, Team Mazda Subaru, and Grade Power Learning in Meridian. Don, if you would like to call back, we apologize. We didn't get a chance to hear what you have to say. So, Don in Meridian, if you would call back, that would be great. Steve Pankey, we're going to ask you to hold on for a moment. Steve Pankey, candidate for governor. We're going to get to him in a moment. Steve, we appreciate your patience. We're going to go to you in a couple minutes. But joining us now from our friends at St. Ignatius Catholic School in Meridian, Idaho, is Ethan. Ethan, good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So you got a busy day. We appreciate you joining us early because you've got a busy day of classes. What type of schoolwork do you have after your big interview today, sir?
Well, I start with our English language arts, and then I go to math, and then I'm actually in the liturgy choir, since every Thursday we go to Mass.
Right. So you can carry a tune.
Yeah.
Well,
I love singing.
You're a better man than I. I'm a fan of singing. I just can't carry a tune. So you're a 7th grader here at St. Ignatius. Why did you decide to come here? You've only got a couple years left, and then you're in high school. That seems like a very big decision.
Yeah, well, this school was closer to our house. I love the idea of a new school, and my mom actually works here.
Even better, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. You get to see your mom at home and at school, and that's a good thing. Let's talk a little bit about faith. Why is that important to you?
Well, faith is important to me because not only is it something to believe in, but it's part of your religion to kind of help bring a community together and become a good community and just work together. So that's why I love this school so much. Like, all the teachers go to prayer in the morning. We all pray. We have religion class. That's something you don't always get to do in public schools. Like, you get to go to Mass.
Sure. And that's important for you to go to Mass every Thursday?
Yeah.
What's that like, going to church with your fellow students?
I think it's a little different than, like, just going on Sunday, because you're with your peers, you're with people that you're friends with, and you're with people that you have classes with. And for me, it's even a little different because I'm singing. So I sing, and that's my way of praising God on every Thursday and on Sundays, because I sing and I just kind of give it my all, and yeah.
You give it your all at 7th grade. Wow, I can't wait to hear what you're going to be doing in high school and after that. That's amazing. We talk about faith, matters of faith. How important is God in your life?
Pretty important, because I've always had this feeling that God is always around me and that God has a greater plan for me. So whenever I'm doing something, I always just kind of think, would God be happy of what I'm doing? And what can I do to help God work out my plan?
Indeed. What would you say to people, Ethan, that are having a tough time? Maybe they question their faith. I don't want to turn this into a theology thing, but I sense a common vibe between us here. People do need help, and we do pray for people all the time, right?
Yeah, and for anybody who's having hard times, I just say, sit down, just kind of pray for a minute, close your eyes, and just kind of think of how your life has gone, and think of every good moment you have had in your life, and say, God gave me those moments, so He's going to give me some more.
Right. If God is for us, who can be against, right?
Yes.
That's one of those good songs that you sing. Anything else that you would like to share with us here today? We appreciate everybody here at St. Ignatius. We're going to hear from more folks, but anything you'd like to share with us today?
I just kind of want to share that the whole school is just like so much of a community. Everybody works together for a common goal, which is to bring each other closer to God and to learn about God and about all these other subjects. So when we go to BK with all our friends and peers, we can just kind of mend together into a big community.
All right. Ethan, great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Our great friend Ethan joining us from St. Ignatius Catholic School in Meridian, Idaho. Let's go to our friend Steve Pankey, a man of faith, joining us now. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for having me on your show.
Here we are, the final less than a week before the big move. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's 5 days before the primary election. By God's grace and only by God's grace and the great voters of Idaho, I plan on winning and becoming the candidate. I just want to say real quickly that I really, really enjoyed your interview with Ethan, and it's good I enjoy hearing young people with a faith who want to use their voice to sing, to praise God, and young people of values coming up.
And that is so important. And is that one of the reasons why you're running, why you're spending all this money, this time, this effort, this energy? And, I mean, Steve, you could be doing other things, but you've decided to make this commitment.
Well, I'm a caraholic, and I would love to have a Porsche 911 Turbo S, which would cost about $250,000 to $300,000, which is what I'm putting into this campaign. But yes, it is for not only this generation, but it is preserving for the next generation, the generation after that, freedom. Freedom isn't free, as you know, and it must be learned and earned by each generation anew. And it's young people like Ethan that I'm doing this for, to try and make the best decisions to preserve liberty for the future. William Penn said, men must be governed by God or be ruled by tyrants. And I think it's that simple.
Are you surprised at the state of the governor's race with the considerable amount of negative advertising going back and forth?
The big three, the unholy trinity, are firing at each other. I am really surprised at how negative it's gone. Frankly, I'm ashamed of them, the big three Republican governor candidates, as to how negative they have gone. I'm hoping that the voters see that and think, I'll vote for Steve Pankey because we're going to vote for values. We're not going to vote for going against people.
Steve Pankey joining us, candidate for governor, Republican candidate for governor here at KIDO Talk Radio. What's going to be the state of the Republican Party after this contentious primary? Will this be an opportunity for the Democrats to come in if one faction of, as you call them, the three, they don't support the overall nominee? And let's say you're the nominee, they don't support you.
Well, no matter what happens, the Republican Party in Idaho is the swamp. It is the swamp that Trump talks about, and it is deeply divided. I'm obviously the most conservative, the most constitutional, with biblical core values, and the Republican Party is deeply divided. I am an optimist. I'm hopeful. I think like Reagan in that area, so I believe that we can overcome that. But we are a deeply divided party. There is no doubt in my mind that the Democrat Party will try and take advantage of that. Frankly, I would like to see the chair and the Central Committee of the Idaho Republican Party just plain move to Coeur d'Alene. I know that's a new idea, but I think the swamp is so deep right now, and the Republican Party is so divided. And, you know, I appreciate being on the Kevin Miller Show because, frankly, a lot of the Republican Party has shut me out.
That's troubling that the state party and the Republican Party has shut you out. What about the media? That used to be that the media was, responsible for public service, but have they lost their way in covering this campaign?
Oh, absolutely. As you know, the media overall is controlled by 6 Fortune 500 companies. And I keep saying over and over again, your First and Second Amendment rights go together. And if you lose one, you lose the other. Under the First Amendment, there are 5 subsections: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and freedom to petition the government. And number 3, the freedom of press. The press is whether it's Idaho Public TV or it's Channel 7 or whoever it is, they're choosing who can be heard by the people, and that's taking away the freedom of press of the people to hear all 4 major candidates. They're just shutting it down to 3 instead of 4.
Well, Steve Pankey, we hope you stick around after the primary. We're going to be at the Riverside. We'd love to have you there for our primary coverage beginning at 8 on Tuesday night, and our breakfast rally before the other rally at the State House steps Thursday morning. So we'd love to invite you to both.
I will do my best to be there.
Well, that's all we can ask.
Go ahead.
That's all we can ask. You can do your best, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Now, Steve, hopefully we'll get you on before Tuesday, all right?
I look forward to that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Steve Pankey joining us here. Some serious issues. By the way, this hour we're going to give away a family 4-pack. I believe we have a couple family 4-packs. We're a little behind to the Boise Music Festival. So when you hear me give you the cue to call at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, you're going to win those family 4-packs. We are here at St. Ignatius School in Meridian, taking your phone calls about the issues that matter to you, most notably the tone of the election. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And at KIDO Talk Radio, here we are at St. Ignatius School in Meridian. Getting ready to take some of your phone calls. Very busy day. Of course, remember, a week from today we'll be at Terry's Cafe in Meridian, Idaho, for our call for unity after this contentious primary. Let's go to the phones, and I believe we have Jim in Boise who's been holding. Jim, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Morning. How's it going?
Well, if it isn't my man Jim.
Yes, what are you going to do for revenue after the election?
Fortunately, I'm not in the revenue department, so I don't know. I'm sure we have I'm sure we have a master plan.
I have a feeling they write your paychecks, however, so you may be concerned. Anyway.
Well, I don't know what that has to do with the issues we're talking about, but I always share in your concern for my welfare.
Well, you just mentioned that the revenue department didn't concern you, and I was just pointing out that it does. Anyway.
Okay. Jim, thanks for the call. Let's go to Liberty Linda. Liberty Linda, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Liberty Linda.
Yes, good morning, Kevin. I live close to a Catholic church, and every time I drive by it, I just admire the beautiful construction of it. And the other day, they were lining up their children in front of the church, and I was just admiring these well-behaved, beautiful children. And, I think that we as churches should work together. I just thought that this young man, Ethan, what a fine young man he is. And just thank you for being at St. Ignatius this morning and just bringing that beautiful testimony to all of our hearts. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that, and I just think that we should uplift one another and work together.
Well, if only the politicians would follow that advice. What do you think of the last few days of the campaign?
Oh, Kevin, Kevin, this has been an exciting campaign. You know, we have so many running, and we do have choices. I just would like to say something about Dr. Alquist that, you know, you can be a doctor and see what's going around in your community and be quiet about that. He can be a builder and see what's going on in his community and be quiet about that as well. And he can decide to run as governor. Even if he's been quiet about those things, he can recognize what's going on in our state. So I just wanted to say that about him, that so many people have said as a negative to him. I think that can be a positive. And, you know, anyway, I've been for Dr. Alquist. I prayed about it, and I believe he's the man for the job to be our governor. And as well, you know, I think we can still respect the others that are running. But I am for Dr. Alquist, and I think he can be quiet and then decide to run and help our state. So anyway, that's my feelings about it. But hasn't it been an exciting race? This is amazing, I think.
I would agree with you on that. It has been a historic race. Now, the key will be whether or not people can come back together.
Well, I certainly hope so. Whoever wins, we need to get behind that person, and you know, because we love this state. It is such a beautiful state, marvelous, marvelous people in the state of Idaho. And, you know, I think we just should want the best, the very best for our state and the people here. And so that's my feeling. And I think as churches we should uphold one another. And anyway, because I think we have marvelous people in all of our churches here. So,
Liberty Linda, thank you.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for being there for us every morning. We love you.
We love you. Take care. Traffic and weather together at KIDO Talk. And do want to remind you, why don't we do this? Let's give away our family 4-pack to the Boise Music Festival. 4 tickets will be yours. Caller 6 at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And we go to Tess, who joins us now with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Tess.
Hi. Ooh, I love listening to these kids. Hey, I have just a request. After the election, can you call the Idaho Secretary of State and ask him to come on to, I guess, give people an overview of how they look at different issues with candidates? I know one of the problems that they've had with several candidates in the past couple of elections are residency issues, but it's, you know, it's pretty involved. Right now in District 7, Phil Hart, who is a constitutional Republican, was actually certified to run and then pulled off of the ballot right at the front end of early voting and absentee ballots. And then the Idaho Secretary of State recertified him to run as a legitimate candidate this Monday. So thousands of ballots were sent out. His name was blacked out, and he's running against a 7th-term incumbent. And it's been difficult to get answers, but I would really like to know, so how does that candidate approach this? How do those county clerks that are holding those blacked out ballots that people could not vote on, how are they affected? And how do they let a leak out about a gubernatorial individual who's running?
That's a major blunder where, and I don't know what the repercussions are, because we see a lot of things happening, and we've seen this in the prison system. We've seen this in the school system, and now we see it at the Secretary of State's level. And what are the repercussions when you say that a gubernatorial candidate is under investigation, and then, whoops, they're not with a week left before the election? These are big mistakes that impact people's lives and directions, right?
Righto. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's time for somebody else to be in that office?
Well, they just got into that office, but I mean, you know, what is the purpose here if we're going to make these bad calls at the line of scrimmage? You know, in the private sector, if you make a mistake, you get the boot. I was talking to Jim Stevens at Sandler Training, and we were doing an interview, and he said to me, he goes, tell me about your career. And I said, look, I've been fired 5 times. And people say, well, that's just radio. Well, no, I'm a person, and I have a mortgage, and I have a family, and, those things impact me more than most. Well, you chose to do that. No, I've been fired from places where I've led in ratings, I've led in revenue, I've beaten the unbeatable in Rush Limbaugh, and I was still given the door. And that never happens. But those things happen to people on the outside, and it amazes me, whether it's at the federal government level or at the state government level, that you have people that do things and the hits go on. Oh, my bad.
And I'll tell you just one thing real quickly. People get upset about a lot of the negative ads, and some are pretty despicable. But I will tell you that if someone gets on and says something negative, if they give me a date and a vote number, by golly, I'll go look. And that does make a difference. So don't be too don't be too tender-skinned. It's like if someone came up and said, your Aunt Fanny wears long underwear all the time. I would think, well, yeah, she does.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
How do you know that?
Yeah. You're right about that. Tess, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
And congratulations to Nancy in Boise for winning that family 4-pack. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie. And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio. Just want to let you know, this hour your chance to win four tickets to the Boise Music Festival. Thank you, Thursdays. Thanks to our friends at the Boise Music Festival. Your chance to see Robin Thicke, Baby Bash, Matt Carney, Echo Smith, Parmalee, June 23rd at Expo, Idaho for free. We would love to give those for you for free, just as our way of thanking you for joining us here each and every morning. Coming up, more from our friends at St. Ignatius. First, she's a conservative. She has served in the Senate for many, many years. Janice McGeehan joining us now. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well, Kevin. How are you doing? Happy Thursday.
Last Friday, we were at Independence Indoor Shooting, having a good time. Today, we're on the phone. Less than 5 days left in the campaign. It seems like an endless campaign. Your thoughts on the push for the Final Five?
Well, it's a little hard to believe that it's only 5 days away. It kind of makes me sad. I've really enjoyed getting all across the state and meeting people, getting to know so many good people across our beautiful state. And it's hard to believe that it's coming to an end. Sunday we'll celebrate Happy Mother's Day, and then the voters will go to the polls on Tuesday. I feel really good about where we're at. We've spent a lot of time building a grassroots support all over the state. And if I could take an opportunity to just thank so many people that have helped my campaign in one way or the other, getting signs out, getting canvassing neighborhoods with brochures, writing letters of support, and making contributions to my campaign. I'm just very thankful for the support that I have and for the message that is resonating with people across Idaho.
Indeed. What's it like to have been, and you are still a small business person, a business owner with your family, and yet spending time away from them on the road, worried about signs, worried about messages, and who said what to whom about you or that and the other. Very different from the real world, or is it?
It is different being out on the campaign trail, but I've used it as an opportunity to spend some quality time with different members of my family. In fact, today I'm driving to Chalice with our daughter Liza. She's going to be heading up there. And we all, my family, we're all part of our business entities. And so it's difficult for one of us to be away all the time. And so that's why I've used, the opportunity to take different members, whether it's my husband, our son, and today our daughter Liza, traveling to Chalice to speak to people there in Chalice and listen to the concerns. There's a group of people up there, about 80 to 100 people that are gathering in Chalice this evening because their community and their forest is the first in Idaho going through a reassessment from the U.S. Forest Service, and decisions are being made that are really going to impact those people's lives, on top of how their lives have already been negatively impacted. So I'm really loving the opportunity to just go listen to these concerns and hear what we can do on a state level with different and new leadership to try to help these situations and assert our state sovereignty and our authority to have more control over our lives here in Idaho.
Well, we certainly want to hear from you before Tuesday, and we'd love to invite you to our election night coverage on Tuesday night and our Unity Rally at Thursday at Terry's Cafe. You've always been a person that has put governance and self-government and public service ahead of yourself. So we'd love to invite you to our event on Thursday from Terry's Cafe to bring everybody together, and we'd love to see you Tuesday night.
So Tuesday is your gathering?
Well, Tuesday we'll be at the Riverside covering the primary.
Yeah. Okay, so you're having an event right after the primary?
We are. We're going to have a pre-breakfast before the rally at the State House steps.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds really like a great idea to bring people together, because no matter how these things turn out, and I am leaving so much, in God's hands of how the outcome of this election, just for so many of us that have stepped forward in wanting to help serve and lead our state. However things turn out on Tuesday, it's been a great experience, and for those that are out there who have not decided yet who to vote for, I would like to have the opportunity to humbly and respectfully ask for your vote on Tuesday, May 15th, to become your next lieutenant governor. And we've focused on a positive message, one that creates hope and opportunity for people of Idaho. And I would love to have your support on May 15th.
Well, Janice McGeehan joining us, candidate for lieutenant governor. Final question here. What differentiates you from the other candidates?
Well, I would say that it's my legislative experience serving 10 years in the House and having a proven conservative track record supporting the principles of the Republican Party and our U.S. Constitution, honoring the vote of the people of Idaho, and taking myself out of the position after serving 10 years because I don't believe in career politicians, and being a small business person with 30-plus years of experience in 4 different industries. I understand that it's not the government that creates jobs, people out there, the small business entrepreneur, that it creates the jobs. And so the government, we just need to ensure that the government gets off the back of those individuals and the small business owner. And you really need to understand how those policies negatively impact the job creation in order to go in there and turn things around, and understand the complexities of the deep state in the Department of Education, of how the curriculum is attempting to indoctrinate our kids, and understand the complexities of the Medicaid programs and the health and welfare programs in our state. And so it's that combined experience and with a true heart to serve and help people in Idaho. And
right.
It is nothing at all about my self-interest. It's just pure desire to help the people of Idaho.
Janice McGeehan, yes?
Thank you. I believe that making America great starts right here in Idaho, and I'm anxious and ready and willing to serve.
Fair enough. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the trail. The trail's coming to an end. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kevin. You have a great day.
You too, ma'am. Janice McGeehan, candidate for lieutenant governor. By the way, why don't we do this? Caller 6 right now at 580-5436. You're going to win those tickets to the Boise Music Festival. We're joined by Jacqueline and Caitlin. Is that correct?
That is correct.
When you reach my age, sometimes you don't remember things. So we're here at St. Ignatius Catholic School in Meridian. Thank you both for being here with us.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, tell us a little bit about St. Ignatius. It's a new school.
We are
new.
a brand new school. This is our first year. We have a great student body. This has really been a project of the Holy Apostles Parish. It's the biggest Catholic parish in the state of Idaho, and they have wanted a Catholic school for years, and they have really, they spent years planning this school, praying for the funding, and it really came to fruition, and we just started this year. We've had a great enrollment, strong enrollment this first year, and we anticipate even stronger enrollment next year. So it's been a huge success so far.
You know, it's amazing as a member of Holy Apostles. I've heard about the concept of another Catholic school, and remember when this school was being thought of and such, it was major news coverage, television stations, the newspapers covered this, the radios as well. But when you think about the idea of going from a concept to a reality, I mean, that's easier said than done.
Absolutely. I think it shocks even us every day of what it takes to build a program from scratch. But there's so much excitement behind it. We've got a staff and a leadership team and a parish that are and a parent community that are so behind us and really supporting the growth of this school. And it gave us a great opportunity to kind of start from scratch and do things differently in a lot of ways, keep a lot of the traditions of Catholic education, but do some things differently. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you're saying the enrollment, because, you know, the old Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Of course, a lot of businesses have done that. It hasn't happened, but for a lot of people, there was never a doubt in anyone's mind that people would come here.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, for the leadership team, it was a little bit scary that first time we had an enrollment meeting for the parents to see, will they come? So,
right.
and we had a great response. So we've been so blessed with our enrollment. This area is growing so quickly, and as I mentioned, the Holy Apostles Parish is just such a vibrant parish that there was so much interest from the parish that just from our parishioner students alone, the enrollment just shot up immediately.
Indeed, and of course, you don't have to be Catholic to go to this
Absolutely.
great school, just like Bishop Kelly and such. How do you balance that faith and education?
Well, so I have a kindergartner, and my husband is Catholic, but I'm not Catholic, and neither is our son. And he has learned so much this year just about faith in general. I mean, being in kindergarten, you know, they're teaching basic principles.
And
but
you're comfortable with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But he's also learned so much about being Catholic and what the sacraments mean and what communion means and the different saints, that he has actually asked if he could be baptized this summer because he saw the second graders taking First Communion, and that's something that he's decided that he wants to be a part of. So we had always gone to church. We went to a Christian church, a non-denominational church, but he really likes the aspect of going in and knowing what to expect each time and how the church runs, and has really enjoyed Father Len and Father John. And so I think that the school has done a great job in teaching that, but then also letting our family explore that as well to see what would be best for our family.
Sure, and it takes quite a commitment for the parents to send their children here. You know, that's a commitment that you have that buy-in.
Absolutely. And I think we have tried really hard when we are touring prospective parents and introducing them to our school to be really forthright and honest with what our program is about, what we're teaching, so that they are coming into this program with open eyes about, you know, our faith formation, our academics, really every part of it. Social justice and service is really important to us. So we try to be honest with parents about what they're getting into, because it is a commitment, and it's a time commitment, it's a financial commitment, and really it's a commitment to buy into this community and be part of it and participate in it, and that's what we want from our families.
Sure, and when you go back to, as much as I love our friends at Salt and Light Radio, this isn't the Catholic Hour, and my friends at the Broadcast Center always remind me of that, but to just from a strictly educational perspective, not being of the Catholic faith or of the Christian faith, the education that kids would get here and are getting here.
Absolutely. We are, in like many Catholic schools, we really try to focus on a well-rounded traditional education.
That happens to me all the time. No worries. I don't have anybody to go to, so.
Well, one of the things that's that makes this school really great is the individualized learning here. So we really try to meet students where they're at and let them progress as they are able. So students that are able to advance more quickly aren't held back or focused on working on other things. They're able to advance at their own pace. And then kids who may struggle or need a little bit extra time or attention are able to get that as well, which really makes the school unique in that way, and really helps to reach all kids, no matter where they're at.
Sure. If people would like more information, what can they do?
We have a website, a great website that has a ton of information about our academic model and all of our different programs. But call the school, do a tour. We would love to tour people around and show them what we're about.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning, giving away the Family 4-pack to the Boise Music Festival. Do appreciate that. Before we get to Aaron and Rob of Team Mazda Subaru, let's get you to traffic and weather to get. And we go to Aaron and Rob of Team Mazda Subaru. Of course, we so appreciate those folks sponsoring Promote Our Schools, Secure Our Future, and Miller's Mission, which will be here the 21st through the 26th. Always great deals, whether it's a new Mazda, new Subaru, or a pre-owned car with our friends at Team, located on the boulevard between Nampa and Caldwell. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. And our newest promotion, Shenanigans.
Shenanigans with Kevin Miller.
Shenanigans indeed. So this is a National Teachers Appreciation Week. Any teachers that you guys remember that had a great influence on both of you?
You know, my favorite was my third grade teacher, and I remember her reading us a story that was very inspirational. So Mrs. Gannell was my third grade teacher that I remember most fondly.
For me, it was a seventh grade teacher, Warren Whistler, and he was great, social studies, and just really motivated me and kind of got me off on the right foot into having success for the rest of my school career.
And Shenanigans.
And Shenanigans, he liked them.
Yes, I'm just setting the ground rules for you two. You always run wild over me.
You know, we're live from the 580 KIDO
107.5 FM, yes.
107.5 FM.
107. Can't stop us. We're on both sides.
And
of
what
the deal.
Subaru are you driving now?
The Team Mazda, the Team Subaru Drive for Excellence in Education, Forester.
And tell us about your big event coming up next Tuesday, Kevin.
It is primary night. Maybe you'd like to join us at the Riverside Hotel or at Terry's Cafe in Meridian on Thursday.
We didn't get the invite.
Yeah, we didn't get it. We're looking for it.
Well, you guys have it now. You guys don't need an invite. You're part of the team.
Oh, thank you. We never need an invite, huh? So all your family barbecues as well?
Yeah, we haven't been to one of those either, Kevin.
Yes, well, because there aren't any. But yes, if I had some, yes.
We're just going to show up.
Yeah, purely working.
Miss Miller would just love for us to show up for those.
Yeah.
It's to be around the microwave, not about, because that's how I cook. So.
Well, we're in. That's
we're
cool.
in.
Taste us.
So quickly, we don't have a lot of time. Alexa is taking over. Are you down with Alexa? To me, I think it's just a way for the computers to start running us.
Yeah, maybe a little AI. I have a couple in my house that I got free from Subaru.
Yeah.
And my 11-year-old loves to run around and yell at the Alexa. But the truth is, for us, it's more of a novelty. There's really, what's the weather going to be? You know, what time is it?
I don't think it's Terminator yet, Kevin.
Skynet. First Alexa, then it's Skynet. That's what I think.
Skynet. There it is.
Hey, I will see you guys today.
Hey, did you ask Alexa who's going to win the governor's race?
Who's going to win, Aaron?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Alexa.
Okay, I'd rather ask you.
We think it's going to be Tommy. We think Tommy's going to do it. We don't know, though.
All right.
Take care,
continued. Kevin. Shenanigans.
Aaron and
Rob.